Welcome to the Escape the Matrix show. This is Dave Sherwin with my co-host Dan Jones, and we are experiencing really exciting online exploration, experimentation, and technical learning curve here on the show as we are trying to use the great tools Google offers us at the same time as broadcast the show, letting our people on Facebook understand how to watch the show using Google+. You know, Google+ is a phenomenal tool. I mean, what we're going through right now on the show in terms of using Google tools is something we need to be helping a lot of other people with. For example, when we started the show, we were spending a lot of money on recording the show, distributing the show, hosting it, and we found out we didn't have to do any of that.
None of it.
None of it. And Google really has some cool tools. You know, as much as we love Facebook, we do a lot of Facebook marketing. The fact is, more and more we are using Google's tools. As a matter of fact, you can follow us if you go to, well, our videos are now broadcasted and automatically uploaded at youtube.com/escapethematrixvids. And that's really cool because each of these episodes is an hour. And back when we were paying for hosting and uploading these things ourselves, it was an expensive process and it had no chance to really go viral, right? So all this stuff, the Google Plus world and learning the Google Plus world and utilizing it. Dan, that's something we need to do a future episode on.
The Google Plus world?
The Google Plus world, all the cool tools that Google offers that could really help any business to ramp up. Because every business is trying to get a message out, right?
Right. I think so too. I think that the Google Plus, that's really what they're really catering to businesses right now, way more than Facebook or any other. I mean, a lot of platforms are doing well for businesses. Pinterest is awesome. They love businesses to be on there, but Google Plus really just has so many tools, and it's such a great platform for us. So.
Well, there you have it. Great topic for a future episode. All of the stuff we have learned as we've tried to put our own message out and using Google tools, and we're getting better and better at it. And it's free. Where were we broadcasting before? I can't even remember. It was a paid service, an online video streaming service, ULive or something. Ustream. It was Ustream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, anyone listening to us right now who's using Ustream, the fact is,
that's too bad.
That costs a lot of money, and I know it works for people. So, you know, for a lot of these guys, if they're getting thousands of visitors and they've already developed a really great following there, that's fantastic. But most people haven't yet done that, and you can do all of, you know, everything that Ustream does. I'm pretty sure you can do on Google Plus. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it seems like it, or plus some. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's why the plus is in there.
And by the way, people that follow us on Google+, we always follow them back. We're trying to build our circles, get to know people, help them answer their questions. We do that on Facebook, but we're also doing it more and more on Google+. We sent out a blast earlier this week. If you want to follow us, we will follow you back and get to know you. We'll answer all your questions. If you have a question you think we could help you with in online marketing, we'd love to hear from you.
I want to, oh, go ahead.
No,
I was going to say, here's one thing that's kind of quirky with Google+. Is follow us on Google+. Our URL is plus.google.com/101-887-966-546-421-2401.
Now, I did apply for a vanity URL so that it's not that ugly long thing. Now, by the way, you can find that.
Some of them can they are allowing some pages. They are giving that. I don't know what the process is.
You have to have over 20 people in your circles or something like that. You have to have had your account open for a certain period of time. I believe it was 30 days. I did go through all this last week. Gotcha. And then they ask you to give them 24 to 48 hours to approve it. And then nothing happens from what I can tell because I haven't received an email or anything like that. And so maybe we need to do a blog post or something on this process. But so far, that is our experience with Google+. You can follow and add us to your circles by going to facebook.com/escapethematrix, and there's a link there where you can follow us, we'll follow you, and get some great help from us if you would like it. And we would be happy to answer your online questions there. You can also, at our Google Plus page, participate in the Hangout. People who are watching right now, if they could find that ugly URL, or just go to Facebook and click on it, could actually participate in this Hangout. Our engineer, Clark, is monitoring the Hangout, and you could actually ask questions, and we could respond to them, and we would be happy to do so. Now, today we've got some interesting
and we'd be able
ideas.
to see them, right?
Well, if they participate in the Hangout,
kind of hangout where we would see their little icon pop up in the bottom there?
Yeah, if we kind of look around the camera here to the monitor, there we are, and they should pop up, and we should actually, yeah, if they have a camera on their computer, of course, and
otherwise
if not,
we'll see their profile picture and hear them.
I think that's how it would work.
Cool.
Why don't
really
someone
cool.
listening? Because I believe we have 4 listeners now, Dan.
Are you sure?
I'm
It's
pretty
like a
sure up to 4 because
increase.
my wife has been pretty solid lately.
Oh, sweet.
And then
my wife has not been.
Well, that would get us to 5, Dan. Come
That's
on.
Another 20% increase. I gotta get
20% increase. And if just one of those 5 would hop on right now and go to facebook.com/escapethematrix, click on the Google Plus link, and join us in the Hangout, and we could find out for ourselves how it worked, and say hello to one of our wives probably in the process. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
That'd be great. You could say hello to your wife.
Yeah, because that's probably what would happen, because your wife doesn't listen. And my wife prefers you and your content and your radio voice to mine.
My content?
Anyway. Oh, I think so.
Wow.
Because she's heard all my stuff.
That's true. Huh?
This is all boring to her. She's just like, go make money. That's really the extent of her care about what I do in online marketing.
I think that's why my wife doesn't listen.
Oh,
she's just like, whatever, do what you need to.
Well, we got some great topics today. First of all, we're going to talk about Hummingbird. Some of our listeners may not know what that is.
Yeah, well, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't.
To SEO people, this is old news because it started actually in September, and from September to early November, in dog years is what, like a year, which online everything's like dog years, right?
Yeah, because of how fast it goes. You got you break up the year into 7 increments, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like 1 year to a human is 7 years to a dog. Right. It's the same online. So this is old news if you're an SEO expert, but some people are still trying to get their head around it. I've seen recent posts about it. I've seen several questions about it. I know a lot of people are wondering, what is Hummingbird? How does it affect my website? Especially anyone who lost some rankings. And so Google has what we call the animal updates. And really the first big animal update wasn't named after an animal. It started a little bit later. But do you remember caffeine, Dan?
Caffeine, yeah.
Yeah.
2010.
2010. It was the first time, I think, really, that those of us in the SEO world, and for those of you who are new to the whole online marketing thing, SEO means search engine optimization. It's the whole art and science of getting your site to rank on a front page of Google, which is really fun and exciting and can make you a ton of money. So it's well worth exploring and learning. And we're going to cover this after the break. We've got a hard stop here on the radio and the television. And so after the break, what is Hummingbird? How does it affect you? How do you adjust your website so you can maintain your rankings? This is Dave Sherwin and Dan Jones on the Escape the Matrix show. Web marketing for free. Learn how to market online right here every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Mountain Time. And Clark, if you have a chance.
By the way, now YouTube puts this up for us.
Live
what
now.
Is that?
It says live now on your youtube.com/escapethematrix.
Okay. And do we have anybody watching, participating in the Hangout? And let's test that process. If you're watching us online right now in the Hangout, been able to enter the Hangout, this is something we're experimenting with. We're new to it, so we're learning as we go here. But would love to use that platform more so that we can have direct interaction with people and to get questions asked and answered during the show. So, as mentioned on the show, you can go to facebook.com/escapethematrix and click on the Google link and participate in the show live. And we have Clark here who is monitoring the show and watching for anyone who jumps in, and then we can determine how they can participate. And
we got Dan over here with mic problems.
Was it just keep slipping down?
It just keeps dropping down slowly. There we go.
Clark, one of the things that would help us is if we could move that camera or the monitor. We can't see the radio clock. Up.
so you can see it.
You'd have to
He's
go
just gonna
really
hold it.
high, like
Just hold it above your head.
from the perspective we have. I don't know if you can tell, but it would have to be almost at the top of the window,
Right.
and that's probably too high. I wonder if we can just pull that thing out and move it a little to one side or the other.
Let's move the camera
Down,
down.
or actually, that would give a weird perspective. What about to the left or the right?
I can, because of my angle, I can actually see the monitor pretty well.
You know what?
Here we go.
Welcome back to the Escape the Matrix show. Web marketing made easy. That's not really our tagline. We got to come up with a cool tagline.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Better than the Rush Limbaugh show,
Better than the Rush Limbaugh show.
because this show makes you money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not quite it, but it's along the lines.
Two guys and two laptops.
Two guys with laptops.
Two guys with laptops.
Well, this is the
that
Escape the
make you
Matrix
7
show.
digits.
And with or without a tagline, we are here to teach you web marketing and help you earn money. Whether you are a home marketer or a small business or a big business, the principles are generally the same if you understand web marketing and how to get a message out there. And all of us are trying to get a message out there. And one of the best ways, of course, is through Google. If you can get your website ranked on the front page of Google, for example, we're very much into SEO, search engine optimization. We do it for ourselves and we do it for clients. And one of those I have a meeting with today, actually, Dan. You haven't met him yet, but he's one of our clients. You do the ranking reports for every month. Dr. Keith Robbins. Let's put in a little plug for him. And for about the last 18 months, he has been on the front page, usually #1 when people search for a term like, he's in the city of Riverton. If you search Riverton chiropractor, especially if you live in Riverton, he'll come up #1. If you're outside of Riverton, the results could vary, and that opens up a whole new algorithm built from the ground up behind the scenes by Google engineers and implemented so quietly and so perfectly that they didn't do the press release for 30 days after it
Wow,
was done.
that's pretty awesome. Did anyone notice for those 30 days?
Some people who were hurt by the update, who lost rankings, knew something was going on. But for the most part, it didn't disrupt SEO near as much as Panda or Penguin did, so a lot of people didn't notice. And they call it Hummingbird because it is supposed to be quicker, like a hummingbird, and precise, like a hummingbird.
Mm,
So that's where the animal comes in, quick and precise. So
quick and
part of it
precise.
was just making it faster, getting
That's
a
cool.
faster result.
That's cool. Now, faster results. I mean, I search something on Google and it says I have. It actually tells me the results, how fast I get them, and it's like 0.0015 seconds.
And it used to be 0.003.
Whoa.
So it's twice as fast.
That's pretty crazy, guys. I was just wondering, is that necessary or what? What does fast results mean? Is that what it means?
Do you know what? I once read about Google and the speed of search and how important that was to them. And believe it or not, they did research and found out that fractions of a second mattered.
Oh wow.
I was absolutely shocked. But you know, our mind works faster than in the length of a second. In the length of a second, we can think several thoughts.
Right.
And believe it or not, fractions of a second are critically important to Google. They always have been.
I guess if they just want it seemingly instantaneous.
They're shooting for instantaneous. That's part of what they did with Hummingbird. Now, how does the average business apply what just happened with Hummingbird?
One thing I wanted to kind of point out was that what I read about Hummingbird was that it's starting to take a little bit more of the mobile users, because the mobile users search differently than someone sitting at a desk and typing.
Mm-hmm.
And the mobile users are a little bit more conversational. And so I had read that it's implementing things such as synonyms into its search algorithm, and it's implementing more conversational searches. You know, and we've looked at that a lot before, how to do something, or they're just kind of saying their search is a sentence, not just one or two keywords, but it's like an entire sentence where they're asking something or stating something. And so for Google to say this website is relevant for this keyword and this keyword, but then something totally different for a whole sentence, you know, maybe that would have been a little bit quirky. Maybe they were searching for something when they're just typing in a sentence, or they're pushing their, you know, their little Siri button and saying a sentence, and that's what they wanted to see results for, but they were getting something different. And so I could see Hummingbird being an update for that as well.
That's exactly right. So for example, the word hummingbird itself is quite interesting. And if you entered the word hummingbird all alone on Google, you think about what has to happen now. The algorithm has to determine, is this person a student who's researching hummingbird, the animal, for a research project? Or is this a person like Dave Sherwin researching this to teach his followers about the new Google Hummingbird update?
Right.
And to do that, they're actually taking into account who you are, previous searches, your social profile. This is why Google Plus is so important to Google. And so if you were to enter a search like, how does Hummingbird operate, for example, within that sentence, they're trying to determine, are you looking for Hummingbird the animal or Hummingbird the Google algorithm change? And so they're getting smarter at determining how sentences like that work. What's the big takeaway for business? Well, the big takeaway is nothing has really changed from 1998 until now. Since Google came on the scene, they've had one very simple goal that if we could all understand, we could do better online. And that is, Google wants to serve up the best possible result to the person searching. Google has never forgotten who their customer is. Their customer is the mommy who's searching on how to toilet train her 3-year-old. It is the person looking for information on a hummingbird for their research project. It is the searcher. And when they deliver the best possible results that are most relevant to what that person is looking for, they win.
Mm-hmm.
So the game has not changed fundamentally, in that what we need to try to do is create the best site. for that term.
Be what people are looking for. Be the end all for people looking for that niche.
I put a blog post up, Dan. Let's point people to that. You can go to escapethematrix.net. If you click on recent posts, there's one called On Hummingbirds and SEO.
escapethematrix.net/on hummingbirds and SEO, or you can just go to escapethematrix.net and look for the latest blog posts. So
yeah, and I included in there the best article that I found on the subject, where Dan Sullivan went in and actually interviewed people at Google. It's a phenomenal article. So I've got my take on it and what it means to me and my SEO world, and then I've got a link to a phenomenal article on Search Marketing Land that was the best article I found, Dan, on the subject.
yeah, and well, I guess this is Search Engine Land. I just searched Hummingbird really quick on Google, and it gave me a personalized result. And the first one is Hummingbird from Wikipedia. The second result is all about the new Google Hummingbird algorithm from searchengineland.com.
And see, what would be interesting is if my son Tyler, who's a high school student, did the same search, would it serve that up to him, or would it serve up Hummingbird information?
I believe it for someone who's not in the niche of SEO and things, that it would serve him up all about hummingbirds, because, and if it didn't, then Google's probably working on how to do that right now, because they wouldn't be looking for a Google algorithm. They'd search this, and if they clicked on Search Engine Land, they'd be like, what is this? Why would I care about this Google stuff? I'm looking for a hummingbird.
So if you're trying to get your site ranked on Google, go to escapethematrix.net, check our most recent post, along with, if you go to the blog and click on categories, we have several posts on SEO where we give out some great information, so we'd refer you to that. Now the next topic, Dan, is probably going to bleed into the next segment. We've got 2.5 minutes in this segment, but we discovered a super cool hack on Facebook, didn't we?
Ah, super sweet.
Now, everyone who has a Facebook page needs to listen very carefully to what we're about to tell you. It's very simple to implement. It's new to us within the last week, and so we are still learning it, but we've learned enough about it that we're going to announce it to you because it's so easy to do. And that is, if you've got a Facebook page, you understand that not everyone who likes your page sees everything that you do. And Facebook tells you that. They tell you how many people saw this post, right?
And you're like, why is that only 5% of my followers?
And as a marketer, you want to make that 100% of your followers. And for the next half an hour, we're going to be talking about niches and niche selection and how you get into a hot niche that will participate on your Facebook page and how your posts will go viral. And we're going to talk about this Facebook hack particularly, and it's really quite simple. And Dan, why don't you go ahead and explain to them what it is and how it works?
Well, we all know that you can advertise in various different ways on Facebook, and one of those ways is boosting a post, where you're just putting any kind of a status update, whether it's just text, whether it's a link, video, or picture. And Facebook doesn't like anything except normal text, because if it's anything else, it's going to take the user away from Facebook, possibly, right? So they boost those up a lot. Now, what you do is, so they show the only text ones a lot. But what you can do is boost your post so that it gets seen by more people. You can pay Facebook to do that for you. Now what we've done is we boosted a post, and then if we hurry and change our minds all of a sudden, because we're like, I don't want to boost that one, I'll boost the next one, and you click pause, Facebook doesn't have enough time to hurry and cancel it. So they actually boost it to a few of your followers, and we got 5 times more visibility out of doing that, just from that one little hack.
After the break, more on this Facebook hack, more on Facebook generally, and are you targeting the wrong niche? How do you find those people that are interested in your message, will participate, and will buy from you? After the break. Okay.
That outro music was sweet.
Problem.
Oh, goody.
When you have Escape the Matrix, when you go to Google Plus and try to search for Escape the Matrix, there are two. There's the old commercial page, and there's the Dave Sherwin page. The Dave Sherwin page has the on-air symbol here with the join the hangout. So when you escape makes Dave Sherwin or Dave Sherwin, it will bring this up.
Yeah, and I noticed that too. I think it's your personal profile rather than the page. Escape the Matrix.
Yeah, we've switched that.
And I don't know how.
Alrighty.
How's that for seeing the monitor? Any better?
Yeah, but how's the perspective?
That seems like a weird perspective.
Okay.
Is it not or no?
I don't think that it's any different than we've ever had. We used to have a little monitor here.
That's true.
And this was here. It was just higher than before.
Okay. Do we have anyone on Google Plus, or because of this linked accounts issue?
We have one viewer here.
We have one viewer. Welcome, viewer.
Welcome, viewer.
And viewer who was lucky enough to find us in all the mess that we have kind of created through linking various accounts on Google Plus. We would love to hear from you, if not just to help us out. Of course, if you've got a question or we can help you with any of your personal marketing, we'd love to do that for you. But go ahead and ask us a question. We want to see how that works out. We're trying to troubleshoot some problems we have with Google Plus and YouTube and multiple accounts being linked on our end, and would love to hear from you. If you are unable to participate in the Hangout, if you would go to facebook.com/escapethematrix and post a comment there on the most recent link about this show and give us an update, we would really appreciate that, because we're trying to troubleshoot our Google Plus broadcast and our Hangout broadcast here on this episode.
I have a lot of recent posts on there. I've been just talking it up on there. The latest one says Facebook boosted post hack, and then it has people laugh.
Okay.
Say what now?
I delete that. I don't want to do that. We don't want to tell Facebook about this.
Right.
This needs to be on air only.
What do you mean on air?
I mean, just people listening to the recording can have this hack, but I'm not going to make it public.
Okay, 5 seconds.
Welcome back to the Escape the Matrix show. I'm Dave Sherwin with my co-host Dan Jones, and the wonderful sounds of AC/DC bringing us back online here today. I want to also welcome listeners from Channel 17 as we simulcast on KHQN 1480 AM, Channel 17, and on the www through Google Hangout and live streaming onto YouTube. But we're having issues with that whole process in that as we have linked some of our own Google accounts, we've discovered that as we post this Hangout, some of it gets posted to my personal Gmail or my personal Google account rather than to our Escape the Matrix account, and we're troubleshooting this whole thing. And many of you are probably dealing with the same thing. If you have multiple Google accounts, like a business one and a personal one, it gets messy, Dan.
Yeah, and I don't know how Google wants you to do it. I don't know. I don't really understand that. Because you can manage a page, a Google Plus page from your personal account, and you can select multiple other managers. Or are they just wanting you to only have one account? Probably.
Yeah.
But then you kind of want to have a business email. So how does that work?
It's messy.
It's messy.
But the tools are so powerful, and they are free, that businesses like us need to figure them out, and as we figure them out, we will pass it on and help you figure that out. As a matter of fact, Dan, I don't know if I've even told you this, but I've got members of our team who are putting together and researching all of this stuff in preparation for training on Google for our premium back office.
Ooh.
And how to use a lot of these tools. And so as we figure it out, we're putting it all in writing and in videos, and we'll update our back office with that information. So for those of you who are members of our back office, by the way, you can join for free. We do have a free membership there. So if you go to, what is it, escape.customerhub.net.
Oh,
I believe,
yeah.
is where you can sign up for our free membership. Now, we're talking about this this Facebook hack. And here's the way it works. And during the break, I kind of corrected Dan because he'd posted on Facebook. I was like, no. Last thing we want to do is notify Facebook of this problem because we want to take advantage of it.
Right. So you listening in, you're getting special treatment because I can't post it.
Nope. And I'm not putting it on the blog.
To it.
You got to listen. Those of you who listen to our podcast or the recording or the the YouTube video are getting a special treat here today because in our studies, Dan, since you and I talked about this, I went back late last night and I reviewed on 4 different pages where I have used this hack. Now, to reiterate to everyone, all you do is make a post that you want to promote, one that is worthy of promotion, that either maybe is a link to something that makes you money, just something you hope will go viral, whatever it is that's a win for you. It's one that you really want to you'd even spend money on it, okay? So you would boost it. But what you do is you choose the boost post.
And you're going to have some kind of account set up to where you actually would pay for it.
Good point. So you got to have your advertising account set up,
Right.
which means you got to go through that process. Now, you can only do that in your personal profile. You can't do that when you're acting as a page. So you go to your page, you click on Manage Ads, and then you go through the process of entering a credit card and all that stuff. Very easy to do. Then you'll have the option to boost a post. You boost the post. Then you immediately
change your mind,
and you pause the boosted post. And Dan, I found that in every case, I got anywhere from as little as 20% more reach to as much as 5 times the reach of a natural post.
That's so awesome. And that stuff, I mean, we're talking, you can put good links on there. Good money-making links you can drop on Facebook for that post, and then get them to 20% to, what is that, 500% more people.
Yeah. Yep. Now
than you normally would have.
Here's what I would do. We don't have solid research on this. We're new to it ourselves. This is new within the last week. We're passing you on something that we've tested enough to know it works, but we haven't tested enough to teach you a strategy. Fair enough? So here's what I would suggest. This is what my gut tells me from marketing on Facebook. I would not do every single post.
No,
that would be dumb.
They'd probably come after you or something. I don't know.
Here's what I would do.
But they might just start boosting. Your boosted post might go to less people. Your regular post might go to even less people than it already does. And
so don't
I'd
make
be careful.
waves. Stay under the radar. How do you stay under the radar? Well, for one thing, many posts are worth boosting for real. I mean, for between $5 and $60, you can boost these things to tens of thousands of people.
Oh yeah, I mean, if your page right now has 1,000 likes, you can boost a post for $5 and get it out to normally your post would be seen by maybe 200 people. Boost it for $5 and you're gonna get seen by like 2,000 people.
Yeah, and so it's worth spending
totally
$5. And of course, now you're participating properly in the whole Facebook machine.
Right.
And if you're doing real boosted posts with occasional boosted "Oops, I changed my mind" posts, in combination with regular posting, I typically do 3 posts a day on all my pages.
Mm-hmm. And you typically boost posts how often? I mean, you have campaigns going all the time.
I have a like campaign running
posts.
Always on all my pages. I never don't have a like campaign.
Yeah.
I boost my posts probably 2 or 3 times a week, and less, Dan, as I get into these hot niches, which we're going to start talking about. It's less and less necessary. As I'm posting on a really hot Facebook page, and it goes viral, and I have 4,000 people who like my page, and the reach is 4,000 on everything I post.
No reason to boost.
The only thing I'll boost is my affiliate links. Yeah, I'll boost my affiliate links to the likes and their friends.
Yeah.
So if I can spend $60 on a promotion that pays me $20 a sale, and I can get 10 sales from a boosted post,
sure,
I'll do that often. Now, I can't do it that often or I'm going to tick off my subscribers because they don't want to see promotion after promotion after promotion.
For sure.
So it's all got to do with balance, with marketing in a strategic way, with giving your followers a lot of good value mixed in with a little bit of humor and a little bit of money-making stuff and a little bit of controversy and a little bit of everything that they would be interested in 3 times a day, 7 days a week, using the scheduled post feature so that you don't have to do it 3 times a day, 7 days a week.
And I was kind of just thinking, I wish that Facebook would have a Hummingbird update, because right now they just kind of promote whatever they feel like serves them the best, almost. You know, they'll put out text, just plain text status updates way more than they will a link. And it's like, well, this link is awesome. You know, it's totally what my people on my page want to see.
Yeah.
But Facebook says no, they're going to leave facebook.com. We don't want to post that very much. We don't want very many people to see that. They need a Hummingbird update.
They do, especially for their graph search.
Yeah.
Their graph search is terrible.
Yeah.
It's like Netscape 1997.
They need the panda, the caffeine, the penguin. They need every update.
They do, but the fact is I'm still loving Facebook and using it the way it's intended. Personally right now, I'm really excited about my Facebook pages. I'm really excited about some of the niches that I'm entering. I'm really excited about entering stuff I never would have even dreamed of entering 6 months ago. It's a lot of fun, and let's talk about that. And for the rest of the show, we're going to talk about niches and what those are. And maybe, Dan, we ought to start with that question of what is a niche, because this concept for business owners who are listening to our show right now, entrepreneurs, of being able to get their message out to the right people is powerful. It's easily done on Facebook, and yet most people really are doing it wrong. And if you have a Facebook page, and most businesses do, and most businesses have become discouraged because they post the stuff and hardly anything happens.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, why do I only have 12 likes? Why do I only have 114 likes? I've been posting stuff all week.
Why did I post this and I have 1,000 likes and only 50 saw it?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
These are all great questions.
I get discouraged like that sometimes.
Yeah, for example, our own page, facebook.com/escapethematrix, is the worst of all our pages.
Oh, by far. It's crazy. We have 4,200 likes, and I get just as many people to see a post from a page that has 300 likes.
And do we know why that is? And the answer is yes. It is because it is a non-sexy niche. Now, we know that, and we get it, and we promote the page and work the page anyway. Why? Because it's our brand. And even though our brand, Make Money Online, is completely oversaturated and overrun with every shyster from Russia to China to New York City, there are
all those
so many
shysters out there.
There are.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of great gurus who really are good, who are posting amazing content. It's
like Dave Sherman and Dan Jones.
Exactly right. Exactly right. I'm glad you added that.
Yeah.
Important to note. But the fact is, there's so much information. People are inundated with Make Money Online information. And
true.
And in this niche, although it sounds like it would be a great niche, it's not a great niche. It's not one that you would enter. Now, because this is our business, and because we're selling SEO services, we do it. But we're going to talk today about how to get around things like that. Now, for everyone listening, if you're a dentist, you have the same challenge. If you're an orthodontist, a chiropractor, a tire store, any brick and mortar business, I hate to tell you, but you're in a non-sexy niche. So after this, we'll talk about how you could reposition yourself into
make
something
yourself
that will
look
work.
sexy.
How you yeah.
Be that sexy dentist.
How you can do it, no matter who you are, what you're selling. After the break, this is Dave Sherwin and Dan Jones on the Escape the Matrix Show, KHQN 1480 AM, every Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Mountain Time.
Okay, right now you're at 1 viewer, but it's been as high high as 6. So that is a record for Escape the Matrix.
So we had
Wow.
5 other people came and left.
Well, when you go to analytics on your on this YouTube, live YouTube, you'll see that the users will go up and down during the hour.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. It's cool they
Yeah.
give you that analytics.
Mm-hmm. I've actually had people contact me. We've got one lady that listens to the show every single week, but works at 9, and so she listens to the show for half an hour, and then she gets in her car and can't listen anymore because she's not within our radio
Right.
area. And so we have people, I mean, in the course of an hour, there's a lot of people can't listen for the whole hour. Now, for those
Sure.
of you listening right now, by the way, these are automatically uploaded to YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/escapethematrixvids, every episode is automatically uploaded to YouTube as soon as we hit end broadcast.
Yep.
So you can catch old episodes. And who wouldn't want to do that, Dan?
No one wouldn't want to do that. Some awesome videos, actually.
You can
there.
also subscribe to our podcast channel.
Yeah.
Now, are episodes going up every week? Where are we at with that?
We aren't completely current, but they are being posted, if that makes sense.
Good. So we got a little catching up to do, but we've got many of our episodes.
Still awesome content on there. If you haven't been able to listen, if you just go to there and you can listen to past episodes while you're driving in your car.
Let's cover that when we go back online.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Escape the Matrix marketing show with Dave Sherwin and my co-host Dan Jones. Today we've covered a lot of cool stuff, everything from the Hummingbird update to a really sweet Facebook hack that'll get more exposure from anything that you post on your Facebook page, to niche selection and the difference between sexy and non-sexy niches, and how anyone can position themselves into a more enticing and engaged niche to get more action on Facebook. And during the break, we were talking about this concept. Clark, our engineer, told us how our listenership online goes up and down. You know, a lot of people can't listen to a show for an entire hour. They catch segments of the show. I was telling Dan how one lady reached out to me recently and said, you know, I can only catch the first half hour of your show, and then I've got to drive to work, and I'm not in your radio area. We simulcast on KHQN 1480 AM, channel 17 here locally, and on Google Live. And then for those of you that can't hear the whole show but would like to, there are 2 ways that you can do that. One is you can go to youtube.com/escapethematrixvids, escapethematrixvids, and on that channel, all of our past recordings are automatically uploaded by YouTube. They also stream live on youtube.com on YouTube Live, so people could watch it live there.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but Dan works with a member of our team to create a podcast out of every single episode.
Right.
Those are kind of a bummer. It's a lot of work, and so we're kind of behind on that. But how many episodes do we have uploaded now, Dan? Probably 17, 18, I would imagine.
Yeah, there's a good amount on there right now.
Yeah, so you could subscribe on, so that, for example, the lady who can only catch half the show, she can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
Yeah.
Go to itunes.com and search for Escape the Matrix. Our podcast will pop right up. And
there's no other Escape the Matrix shows.
There's not. And you can find our podcast there. You can subscribe to our podcast, and then you can listen while you run, or while you exercise, or while you drive your car, or however you want to consume that content. You can listen to it at your convenience through iTunes. So many of our listeners maybe didn't know those various ways you can listen to the Escape the Matrix show. Now, we're talking about niches, sexy versus non-sexy. A sexy niche would be something that people are very excited about, and that people participate about, and that people comment, and people share, and things that go viral. Now, what are some of the attributes of these niches, or these groups of people. Now, before I get into that, I want to recommend a book, Dan. There's a book that I recommend everyone read. If you're in business today, the book is called Tribes by Seth Godin. It's the best book I know on this subject and really getting into the minds and hearts and spirit of niches, or what Seth Godin calls tribes. You read that one, Dan?
I haven't.
It's an easy read. It's short. You could probably pick it up on Amazon or download the ebook. It's easy to read and super interesting. And I got to tell you, it's also high level. This is high level marketing. This is nothing cheesy. Seth Godin, if you know anything about Seth Godin, I've seen him speak. I went to hear him when he came to Salt Lake. Well worth attending his stuff. As a matter of fact, I think he's got the best business blog online. If you Google Seth Godin blog, now that's S-E-T-H, Seth, Godin, G-O-D-I-N. And if you Google Seth Godin blog, he has posted a post on his blog every day for 9 years in a row.
That's intense.
Never misses.
9 years. Then since 2000.
It actually might be 10 years. I might be dating myself here. But anyways, it's a long time. It might be 11 years.
Since 2003, 2004. That's pretty intense.
Yep. And they're short. They're all short to the point, and they're so insightful. They're so good, Dan. It's one of my favorite blogs, and so I'm going to refer people to that. We ought to do a quick blog post after the show about this on the niche selection.
Just a short,
insightful, quick one. I like it. So Tribes by Seth Godin. Now, he will help you really understand how to develop a tribe. That's what this is all about, Dan. We're trying to develop a tribe. But how does someone who has a non-sexy, who's out looking for an orthodontist? Now, if you're looking for an orthodontist right now, then it's interesting to you right now, but it won't be interesting in 6 weeks. Make sense?
Which is too bad, because then that orthodontist is trying to market to you, and they're posting Facebook status updates, and you don't care.
Yeah, and so it's difficult, and so they have to have a Facebook. The orthodontist has to have a Facebook page, but it's never going to go big. It's never going to go viral. It's going to be more supportive to everything that they do. It's going to help them with their SEO. There's all kinds of good reasons to do it. My orthodontist, I've taught him to do contests and to run them through his Facebook page. He does get viral growth. He does get new customers through it. All that's great, but he's never going to get the activity that we get on our League of Legends page.
Yeah, for sure.
Never.
I mean, yeah, we're talking two complete different ones. League of Legends, they're playing that game every single day. They're always wanting new content. There's not another day. That's all they want to do is play League of Legends.
Yep.
Whereas people never want to go to the orthodontist.
And people might say to themselves, well, I don't get it. If I had a lot of excited people who play League of Legends on my Facebook page, how do I make money with that? And here's the answer, Dan, the best that I can say it. This used to confuse the heck out of me. For example, I could never figure out how Twitter, which had no monetization model for the first 3 years or so, could be worth $1 billion. Did that ever make sense to you? They didn't bring in any advertising revenue.
Instagram was bought for $1 billion.
And if you can figure out the answer to that question, you can figure out this concept that we're talking about. And it's really quite simple. There's an intrinsic value to having a following. There just is. And the fact is, once you have a following, you can figure out how to monetize them. I don't care what the following is.
I don't care what the following is.
It doesn't matter. Whether they love chocolate or politics. I don't care in politics whether they're in love with the left or the right. It could be anything to do with social issues like that, to games, to chocolate, we mentioned that. People, what about golf? People have loved golf for 400 years.
And they're not going to stop tomorrow.
They're still going to love golf in 400 years. It's a hot niche.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're going to enter into Facebook purely as a marketer that wants to make money and you don't care what the product is, what you want to do is you want to do some research and find out stuff that's hot. Now, there's a few ways you can do that. One is with Google Trends. Do you know about Google Trends, Dan?
I haven't used it in depth very much, but I do know what it is.
Yeah. Well, Google Trends will tell you what's trending. It's pretty easy to use. You go to Google and you search Google Trends, and it will come right up.
Now, isn't there isn't there a trend thing within the keyword research tool as well?
I'm not sure. If there is, I don't use that one.
Google. Yeah, okay.
I use two resources, Dan. I use Alexa to see what's hot. What's hot on Alexa. That'll give you a good indication about trends. And Google Trends. Between those two things, we can find what's trending. Now, that's all interesting. Then the next question you want to do, though, is you want to ask yourself, how long will this be trending for? Because it's a lot of time and energy to create any web presence, whether it's through Facebook or a website or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, for example, one of the things that's almost always trending is political stuff. For example, right now, Obamacare is trending in a really, really big way.
Yeah.
Because the president's signature legislation, as a matter of fact, the only useful legislation or meaningful legislation he's ever promoted in his life, because he accomplished nothing as a senator.
Whoa! We're getting pretty political here.
Yeah, we just got very political. But I don't care if we're on the left or the right. Tell me the piece of legislation that Barack Obama promoted before he was president that's meaningful. Name one. Can you do it off the top of your head right now, Dan? Name one.
There's no way.
No one can. I'm not kidding you. And so now he's come up with something really big he's really passionate about, and it is bombing. It's tanking.
But, and what I was going to say is that it's so trending right now. Everybody knows that on the first day of the website being live, that only 6 people signed up.
Yep.
Everybody knows that.
Yep.
Just because it's trending so hot. But think about in 3 years when we have the elections again.
Yep.
And when, say, the next president comes in and everybody hates Obamacare and wants to get rid of it, do you think it'll be trending again? For sure.
But in 10 years, will we even use the word Obamacare, except in a historical context?
Good question.
So as a marketer, I might see, here's the train of thought that I go through. So let's see if we can cover this in a minute and 40 seconds that we have left on the show.
Whew.
I ask myself, okay, it's trending now, but for how long will it trend? How could I tie into that in a long-term way? Because although Obamacare may not be the trend itself, could I start a political site either supporting the left and what's good about Obamacare, or on the right and knocking Obamacare? Can I do it in a way that maybe doesn't include the word Obamacare, but that gets me my start, and now I have a political page.
And you're just talking about healthcare or health insurance, or that idea of government control.
Government.
Things, right.
People will still be excited. Those on the left will still be passionate about their points of view in 10 years. And so you take that train of thought. This is hot right now. It's a political subject. Will politics still be popular in 10 years? The answer is yes. Could I start a page based on a current trend that would last 10 years? Yes. So, for example, here's the example. And I'm going to end the show with this, and you can rob and duplicate what I've done. I've got a page, facebook.com/politically incorrect capitalist. Facebook.com/politically incorrect capitalist. If you are on the left and you don't like the right, you would do the opposite, and you would support all of the left side of the argument. But with that, we'll send you off to reverse engineer what we've done on our own page. And next week, more from the Escape the Matrix show on how to make money online, and we're going to dive deeper into this whole concept of niches on KHQN 1480 AM.